Isolation rarely feels dramatic. It often feels quiet, uncomplicated, free from interruption. Time stretches, external pressure fades, expectations soften. At first, isolation feels like relief. There's less friction with other people, less comparison, less explanation, and without those forces the nervous system settles. But slowly, something changes. Motivation doesn't disappear. It just becomes harder to access. Goals feel abstract. Effort feels optional. Time loses definition, not because anything is wrong, but because there's nothing responding. Isolation removes resistance, and resistance is how the system calibrates effort. Without feedback, motivation begins to drift. Motivation is not generated internally. It's regulated externally. The brain uses signals, faces, reactions, timing, consequence to decide how much energy to release. Isolation removes those signals. Without them, the system conserves. Energy output lowers. Urgency fades. Momentum decays. This is not depression. It's efficiency. The nervous system assumes that if nothing is required, nothing needs to be mobilized. So it doesn't push. This is why isolation often feels calm but flat. There's no friction to activate effort, no contrast to define movement. The system remains stable, but unstimulated. People often expect motivation to reappear spontaneously. They wait for energy. They wait for interest. They wait for desire, but motivation needs signal. Without signal, the brain has nothing to orient around. Isolation removes accountability, rhythm, consequence, and without those, effort feels unnecessary. This is why isolation can last longer than intended, not because people enjoy it, but because nothing interrupts it. The system adapts to low demand, and once adapted, change feels disruptive. Over time, isolation reduces tolerance for stimulation. Noise feels intrusive. Interaction feels effortful. Engagement feels draining, not because the person changed, but because the system recalibrated. Low stimulation became the baseline. Anything above it feels excessive. This is why re-entry can feel harder than expected, not emotionally, physiologically. The system isn't resisting connection, it's resisting overload. Motivation doesn't return through willpower. It returns through exposure to timing, exposure to response, exposure to external rhythm. Small interactions reintroduce signal. Signal restores calibration. Calibration allows energy to rise naturally. No forcing required. Isolation isn't failure. It's adaptation to low demand. But adaptation always has a cost. Motivation isn't lost in isolation. It's suspended. Waiting for it internally doesn't work because it was never internal to begin with. If motivation has felt distant during long periods of isolation, that isn't a personal flaw. It's a system responding accurately to a world that stopped asking anything of it. Motivation doesn't wake up in silence. It wakes up in response.